Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and today I want to go over 8 more options that you might want to consider if you are building or renovating your home. Now I did a video about this recently where I went through 10 items that kind of popped in my head initially, and as I was thinking more and more about it, as I have been poring over so many different, videos, posts, anything and everything about new build homes, about renovations, about just the different items and different kind of cool things you can put in your house, I realized that list has expanded quite a bit. As I was writing everything down for this video, I actually had too much and had to cut that back a little. So there's probably going to be a part 3 to this as well. But if you are in a new build home or if you are doing any type of projects around your house, make sure you stay tuned. You don't want to miss these. Quick updates before we jump on in. So we do finally have a closing date. First, starting off with our walkthrough date, we have our initial walkthrough on April 20th. It is a Wednesday. And then we are moving in the next week. We have our final walkthrough on the 27th and then our closing on the 27th too. So coming up, you will see video of, what a walkthrough looks like, kind of the different issues that pop up through there, what closing looks like and all of that. So if you are again on this kind of new build track, you'll be able to see all of that soon, and then we will finally be out of this apartment, which I'm not sure if I'm more excited about moving out of here or if I am moving into the house, which is not a great position to be in, but here we are. Enough of that though. Jumping on in, the first item is going to be pot fillers. Now I have kind of a love-hate relationship here. I've got to say that the typical pot filler that is on the back of your stove or your range, I don't personally get quite. So what I mean by that is I don't really see the big purpose of it. I know that it is something that can add a statement to your house, and a lot of people it is a must-have. I think it's a little bit more that it's kind of a flashy, look, I have a pot filler type thing, and they are, in my opinion, wildly expensive to put in. But again, it is a must-have for some people. When you're thinking about resale value, it is something that maybe some potential buyers would look for. If you are somebody who is cooking a lot, then it might be worth your time. Now for me, while I am hoping to cook more once I'm in a kitchen that I can actually turn around in, the sink isn't that far from the stove. It's not something that I personally have an issue with. Now, if again, you're cooking a lot or if you have any type of mobility issues, absolutely. I would just worry for me, somebody who's not using it as often, having water kind of sitting in the pipes there and then you go to use it, it just seems a little bit gross to me. So having said all of that, why is it on this list? First, I think a lot of people really do like it. But second, I'm thinking about this more not in the range, but in, say, a different part of the house, like your butler's pantry. So I have realized that I would love to get my coffee pot, my espresso machine off of the kitchen counters altogether, and I would love to put them in my butler's pantry. Now, that just means that I'm going to have to bring water to and from, which isn't that big a deal, but it is just a little bit inconvenient. That actually is further away from the sink, so for me, I think it would be a great idea to have a pot filler or something like that in your butler's pantry, in your coffee bar. If you're doing this in your actual pantry, if you have a walk-in pantry, I think this is a fantastic idea, and it is something that, in that case, I would personally use every single day. So water's not going to be sitting around, and I don't think I'm going to have that kind of, that might get a little bit gross feeling that I get from how I personally would use the one over a range. So different ideas, thinking a little bit outside the box, but this is one that I could totally get behind and would have liked to look into if I had thought of it earlier. Apologies, my hair is not looking good. So I washed it, completely forgetting that I don't have a hairdryer right now. I definitely have one. It is in a box somewhere. It might be here upstairs in a box. It might be in storage. I don't really know. I had that one put away because I had the Dyson Airwrap, and long story short, I sold that recently and now my hair is just kind of wet. So it's not looking great. Thank you for sticking with me. Anyway. Next up is going to be a second dishwasher. Now this is a trend that I feel like I've seen a lot more and more recently. Obviously, people have had second dishwashers a lot, so it's not like it's anything new necessarily. But if you have a larger family, if you find yourself running the dishwasher every day or multiple times a day, this might be worth looking into. Kitchens are getting larger and larger. We're having a lot of statement pieces put in. We have people in them and around them all day, every day, it seems like. So this is just something that if you find that having the one dishwasher is just not quite cutting it for you, if you have the ability to add in a second one, again, I'm not sure, every builder is going to be different if you are going through that new build process. So you may or may not get to do everything that's listed in the video, but it's always worth an ask. Like I said, every builder is different, so maybe they would consider it. Maybe it would just be an NSO, a non-standard option. You might have to pay a little bit extra to get that figured out, and then obviously the extra for the appliance, but definitely worth looking into. Sticking with the kitchen, if you do not have a walk-in pantry, or maybe you have one but it's a little small, I would highly suggest seeing if you can either get a walk-in pantry or maybe make it a little bit bigger. These have become more and more just necessary in our lives. I know that in my previous house, we had just a cabinet pantry and it made things very difficult. You couldn't see a lot of things. It didn't have as much storage, obviously. And with all of the, Pinterest-worthy storage containers and all of that I am personally geeking out over and can't wait to do, it's probably worth looking into, not only for yourself. I feel like I keep coming back to resale value, and maybe you're thinking, this is my house, why do you keep bringing that up? You may move one day and something like that could be a differentiator. It's something that can bump up the sale value of your home. So even if it's somewhere you don't see yourself moving, you might one day, and eventually you do want to have, kind of the best face forward that you can. So try not to mention it too much, but it is definitely something you should keep in mind. There's just so much focus on the kitchen as the heart of the home, and having that walk-in pantry really just goes with having that expanded and upgraded kitchen that everybody really seems to be gravitating towards. It really seems to just complete everything. All right, out of the kitchen for now, we are looking at not the entryway to the home that maybe your guests will use, but the entryway that your family's likely to use. I don't know about you, but I'm always entering and exiting through the garage, and having a mudroom is something that is just, I would say, really a necessity for myself personally. It provides your family with a day-to-day space to have any type of storage, to have a closet for your coats, to maybe have some type of shoe rack, somewhere to have a kind of catch-all for your keys, your sunglasses, anything and everything there that clears a space separate from where your guests are going to enter through the front door. If your home does not have a mudroom, or maybe it's a little bit smaller, see if you can add it or expand it, just like we talked about for that pantry in the last item. It's a little more tucked away and out of direct line of sight of a lot of the rest of the house, but it is so convenient. It's not something that I really had growing up, and it's not something I ever really thought about. I saw a couple of houses with it, from babysitting, but having that dedicated entryway right off of the garage, something that is for your family, that kind of contains that little bit of, dirty shoes, winter coats, all of that, I have found to be very, very helpful, and just provides kind of that little bit of a mediary place between the outdoors and the true interior of your house. Next up are going to be built-ins. Now, this is something that I would definitely price out if you are building right now. See what your builder can do, but also see where it might make sense to not have your builder do it and kind of plan for later. There are definitely contractors out there who can give phenomenal pricing, whereas I've seen some things that builders really price themselves out of it. So definitely do your research here, but I'm talking built-ins in the mudroom that we just spoke about, in the library if that's something you're having. If you do have a fireplace and you love the look of the built-ins around that, or around, say, where your TV or any type of media is going to be. These built-ins have been very popular, but I feel like they're continuing in a new kind of fresher direction that you see all over the place. I mean, you can't open a housing or decor account on Instagram without some type of built-in, it seems. It's a great place to kind of have those accent pieces, play with those accent colors. So we've talked about the color of the year for a lot of our paint companies being some shade of green, specifically like a sagey green. And these built-ins seem like a pretty good place to kind of play with those colors. Now, don't get me wrong, painting is no fun, and it's not something that you probably want to switch in and out of a lot, but you can go with some of those fun colors. You can have your basic wood tones, whatever really goes best with your home. It's a great place to really warm up your space, and you can have extra storage. You can show off some more decor items. There's really no downside except for the cost. So again, be very discerning there, get your different options, but it's definitely something to look into and something that I would absolutely consider. We did look into getting some type of built-in in the mudroom. Now, unfortunately, our builder did let us know that our model home did not come with that option, but he was also very upfront with, even if we do that for kind of these other models, we're probably way more expensive than what you could find somewhere else. So open conversation's always a great place to start, but these built-ins can really help you with additional storage, within the mudroom, a place to sit, to get shoes on and off. There's just so many reasons why these built-ins are fantastic. Next up, we are looking at the front door, specifically a double front door. Now, this is a look that just kind of screams opulence. It's very pretty. It is very aesthetically pleasing. And it might be something that your house can handle from looking on the outside. You know, some houses, definitely it's not a look that would match the exterior of your home, but some houses can really support this look. And I think it is so beautiful. It's something that I really would have liked if it did fit our exterior, which it does not. So I can't be, upset about that. But the double door is just somebody's first real look at the house. It just is a very big statement before you even walk in. It offers you some more room when you are moving things in and out. And yes, it might not provide a lot of function day to day. You'll probably have one side kind of locked and the other one is your kind of main door. So this might be a little bit more aesthetic. It definitely has a function, a purpose, but I think they are so beautiful. And it's something that, again, maybe in the next house, if we ever get in this house officially, something I would definitely look into. Moving from double doors in the front of the house, now we're talking double sliding glass doors. Now, I've never been a huge fan of sliding glass doors. I think it's more that as I stare at the one right now across from me, those vertical blinds are just, they kill me. I can't stand them. We are going to have a sliding glass door in the basement, and trust me, we will not have vertical blinds, and that is something I will go into in a little bit more depth in a future video. But something I saw, it's my brother and sister-in-law. They moved into their house about a year ago, and we went over, they hosted Easter pretty much right after they moved in. I don't know how they did it. I mean, that'd be so much pressure. But onto their covered porch, they have these double sliding glass doors that it is like the entire back of the wall of the kitchen. It lets in so much light. Having that much glass just always feels a little bit high-end and upscale. Now, I'm not the person who wants the very modern or super contemporary house that is all glass. That makes me very, very nervous. Privacy is important, but these doors are just so beautiful. They, again, do have a function. Maybe you're not going to have them open all the time. Maybe you will use one more than the other, but in moving furniture in and out to try to get things onto, say, a porch, or just trying to let in a little bit of a breeze, really get that air circulation going. It has the look, it has the function. This is something that I asked about because I think they are so beautiful. Now, unfortunately, it's not something that's going to work for the house that we're moving into, but it's definitely something that I would suggest if you're interested, look into it. I have no idea what the cost would be, so I can't speak to anything there. But if that light, if that kind of wall of glass is just something that you would really like to see, kind of that mix of indoor-outdoor living that's very popular, definitely look into that. And finally, we mentioned storage a little bit in the last video. We talked about a walk-in pantry, but now I want to talk about walk-in closets. Now, I know that most of us are probably very familiar with that kind of shallow closet that are in a lot of bedrooms. Maybe, the primary had a walk-in closet, but growing up, that was really about it. Most of us just had your regular, closet system with that one wire shelf where you could hang things. There is some storage. As I have said, storage is just, you can never have enough storage, right? But having a walk-in closet in all of the bedrooms is something that is just really valuable for making sure that you do have everything that you need in one place, making sure that you don't have kind of that overflow of my limited closet space is full and I still have half a closet's worth of stuff to go. What do I do? So seeing if that's not already an option, kind of seeing what you can do to add that. Or again, if you're looking for renovations, I think that this is something that would be good to look into. Now, obviously not every house is going to be able to have that addition, but I totally see the value there. And I think that everybody would appreciate having some form of just extra closet space. So even if it's not a full walk-in, just having that additional space for storage, for your clothes, for anything that you might need that is a little bit more overflow. I just think you can't go wrong with having a walk-in closet in any bedroom. So that is it for these 8 additional options to consider for your new built home, or maybe your home renovation project. Hopefully something in here was interesting, or maybe got you thinking about something that maybe you hadn't thought of before. If that's the case, I would love for you to stick around. Be sure to like and subscribe. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until next time, bye.